Hi guys, so today's bite-sized class is about a brief history of how karate came about. Now, I'll be using references from books such as Dynamic Karate by Master Masatoshi Nakayama, a student of Master Gichin Funakoshi, our founder. I'll be also taking from that, and also a short part of my description will be from that. Now, really, let's start from the beginning. Karate itself formed in Okinawa later on, but it's thought that 1,400 years ago, a Buddhist monk traveled to China and taught this art along with mind and body methods, who practiced Buddhism, obviously. But he taught a physical art of fighting, if you like, and physical fitness, which became known as the Shaolin. And we all know that the Shaolin formed into this, Chinese fighting art, and we all know that the Shaolin Temple, teaches people this art. But from there, it found itself in Okinawa, this fighting art. But in Okinawa, it graduated to an art which they developed because they were banned from carrying weapons. So the Okinawan people and all those in the Ryukyu Islands around the Okinawa began to learn this form of martial art to protect themselves, which became known as karate-do. Now, lots of masters learned the art of karate, and they taught those close to them, such as their children or cousins or friends of their youngsters, as was the case with Master Gichin Funakoshi. I believe he learned the art from a friend's dad. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he was lucky enough to learn the art of karate. And from there, introduced karate to the public in 1922 when he demonstrated it at a traditional martial arts exhibition. Okay, and then from there on, it began to spread through Japan and the world. Masters learned this, quite recent masters, and they travelled to different parts of the world, and they taught this amazing martial art to people in those countries. For instance, Master Inoue travelled to Great Britain, and he had a famous dojo in London, I believe, where he taught some of today's great karateka. So that's a real brief history, guys. I mean, I had to literally read over the last few days to just try and remember this and learn some things I didn't know. That's how karate. That's the real basic way of how karate came about. But kata, for instance, was taught again. Karate was believed to have been taught through kata, and the reason for that is they didn't write things down because they didn't want people to catch them doing karate. So they passed it down in the form of patterns, or as we know them, kata. And these kata were known to be deadly, if you like, sequences of a number of moves that are, severely damaging if you use them against someone. That's why we say kata is an imaginary fight. And that's how they were known to pass, all the basic techniques of karate and all the advanced techniques, because they were all encompassed in kata, you know, and that's why, well, that's why I'm passionate about kata, because you learn an endless amount of moves that you didn't know existed. You know, when we teach the basics of karate, we teach the punch, the kick, and the different kinds of kicks and the different kinds of strikes and blocks, of course. But kata, going up to the black belt kata and further, contain moves that people would never do. Students would never do unless they learn the katas. And for me, the appetite, the thirst to learn kata is there for that reason. And then to apply the moves from the kata is the important part. So I hope that helps. There's nothing really else to add apart from, because different masters, different people learned karate in Okinawa, they each went their own ways, and they then passed on different versions of what they had learnt. Because the other reason, and again, I've read this from another book, which I have here somewhere, Aidan Trimble's Karate Application. Okay, kata, because it was passed on through just showing and not documented, mistakes were made, differences were brought about, and new styles of karate were formed. And this is where our founder, Master Gichin Funakoshi, developed his own, which has since then developed into really quite a different art almost that he developed. Because if you look in some of the older books, you see that the stance for Shotokan is not a long stance, the front stance, as are all other stances. And also in texts such as Dynamic Karate and Karate-do Kyohan, you will notice that Kibadachi is shorter, back stance is shorter, front stance is shorter. So it's developed over the years. But as you can see, different masters, different practitioners took their versions, developed them, and created different styles of karate. There's a lot more to it, such as katas were named after some of the practitioners, Chinese practitioners that brought them to us, to Japan, I should say, and which spread to us. And again, that is the depth of the history. It's a big history. So I'll leave it there, guys, because it is quite complicated. Now, some of you younger ones that have watched this, it might not mean a lot to you. However, I want you to try and take the basic part of this lesson, which is karate was formed many hundreds of years ago, thought to have been developed by a monk called Bodhidharma, who travelled to China and passed it on to the Chinese, in which they formed, of which formed the Shaolin, if you like, fighting style. The famous Shaolin Temple is where they train, and that's where it was developed. And from there, people passed it on and brought it to Okinawa, and from Okinawa, it then spread around the world. I mean, that's the basic way to explain it. Now, if you watch this video, this is one thing I'm going to say. If you're still watching this video, it means you found it interesting. So what I want you to do is this. I want you to write a small page of what you understood from this. This could be homework. I want you to write karate history at the top and write down what you think you learned from this lesson, a page. Then I want you to take a picture of it and send it to me, okay, with your name on it. And the reason I'm saying this is just to give you the encouragement to watch it again and learn a few more things. But also, I want you to show me that you've done that. And although we've stopped giving house points this year because it's cancelled, if you like, I will promise you this, because you took the time to watch this and you're watching it now. And those that didn't watch it, they won't get this, but you will. I promise you, if you do this, member of Kansai Karate, you send me a picture of that page. I will later award you in January 100 house points. Okay? That'll get you right off. You probably win the whole thing because of that. But I want you to do that because I want people to learn this. I want people to watch these videos. And then with your permission, I want to publish that story and announce that. And the reason I want to do that is because I want you watching to benefit from it. Those that didn't watch won't benefit in terms of Kansai Karate. If you're watching this from a club or years down the road, look, this is something I did for my students at Kansai Karate School. So by all means, you can share this and share the points to your students. But what I'm saying to you guys, my students right now, do what I've just said, and I will award you 100 house points. Because it's always good to know where karate came from. Now, just something I missed out, which I'll finish off on. Shotokan Karate is our style, and that was founded by our master Gichin Funakoshi, who, as I say, formed his style of karate. All right? Karate means empty hand. Okay? And yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Well done for watching this. Do what I said. I'll be interested to see how many of those I get. And we'll talk later. Well done, guys. Have a great day.